Hello and welcome back. Another day, another logic challenge, another CAT set. And this one is quite interesting. And this is a classic CAT kind of a challenge where it appears very difficult on the surface. But if you dive deep into the problem, you will find that it is very, very solvable, very easy, very doable. So the lesson here is to not be scared of new data formats. Chances are if the data looks very, very complicated, the story is going to be fairly straightforward, at least in this case, right? So let me quickly run through the story. I'm assuming that you have read the case and struggled with it. I don't think if you got over that initial scare factor, I don't think the problem presented too much of a challenge. But let me just figure this out. So the story said 3 pouches, each represented by a filled circle. 3 pouches, each represented by a filled circle, are kept in each of the 9 slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every pouch has a certain number of 1 rupee coins. The minimum and maximum amount of money among the 3 pouches in each of the 9 slots are given in the table. So there was a diagram and there was a table, and try and understand the table. If I look at this part, row 1, column 1, row 1, column 1, this tells me that the pouch with the minimum number of coins has 2 coins and the pouch with the maximum number of coins has 4 coins. The moment I look at this information, I understand that the third pouch information is not given to me, and the third pouch could be anything from 2 to 4. So this is where the uncertainty part or the possibility part is coming in. But otherwise, match the story by yourself and you will realize after a second that you don't need this diagram at all. This is just to understand the story, and this data is all I need. For example, if I look at this box, this is row 1, column 2, row 1, column 2. All this tells me is that the pouch with the minimum number of coins has 6 coins. The pouch with the maximum number of coins has 8 coins. So the remaining pouch could be anything from 6 to 8. It could be 6 or 7 or 8. And I can run that same kind of story for any of the boxes or the slots in the grid. But that story is quite easy to understand so far. So notice I've got rid of that diagram. I don't need that at all. There was another part of the story. It said in any column or let's say in any row, there are 9 pouches. In the table, I can only see 2. The third one is missing, but I've seen the diagram. I understand the story. So I understand that in any row or in any column, there are overall 9 pouches. And if I find the average number of coins per pouch, that number is always an integer. And there was another small piece. It is also known that the total amount of money kept in the 3 pouches in the first column of third row. First column, third row, the total amount was rupees 4. 1 and 2, 3 is already accounted for, but the total amount is 4. That means the third pouch must have had 1 rupee. So for this slot of the grid, I know it is the values are 1, 1 and 2, and I have the whole picture. I can observe the same thing for column 2, row 2. Minimum as well as maximum is 1. That means the third pouch will also have 1. Can I make any other deduction anywhere else in the table? No, I cannot. So now let me move towards the average story. So now let me go for the average story, and it said that in each column or in each row there are 9 pouches, and if I find the average number of coins per pouch, it is always going to be an integer. So let me start thinking about the average, finding the average and whether it's an integer or not. And I know average number of coins is going to be total number of coins divided by number of pouches, which is 9 in this case. So let me pick up any one story. I'm starting with column 1. I'm trying to work out the total for column 1 because the total divided by 9 will give me the average, which has to be an integer. So let me think of the total. This is 4 already. 4, 3, 7, 5, 12, 12, 2, 14 and 4, 18. 18 I have already. Now in this slot, the minimum is 3, the maximum is 5. So the third pouch, the missing pouch could be anything from 3 to 4 to 5. Similarly, the missing pouch in this story could be anything from 2 to 3 to 4. And this sum, whatever this is, I'm not sure of the value, but there will be some sum. It will be divided by 9 and you will get an integer. What that means is that this sum has to be a multiple of 9. A fairly easy enough deduction to make. I already have 18. I'm already at 18. Let me think of multiples of 9. So I have 18. The next one I have is 27. The next one I have is 36. So I'm starting at 18. The next one that I can go to is 27. I cannot stay at 18 obviously because there will be some value from here and here. And 27 I can jump to if I go for 5 and 4. Is there any other possibility? Can I jump to 36? No, I cannot. Because to go from 18 to 36, I will need a total of 18. The maximum extra possible is 9. But if I do 18 plus 9, I will get 27. 27 divided by 9, the number of pouches will give me 3. That means my average is an integer number. That means this story is going to work for me. So great, I know 3 and 4 are ruled out. And that means there are 5 coins in the third pouch in row 2, column 1. Similarly, 2 and 3 are ruled out for this story. 4 is the number of coins in the third pouch in column 1. So great, very easy process. The moment you get over the diagram, read a little bit of the story, it's basic averages. Don't wait for easy answers, think of possibilities and you'll be done with the equation in no time. So this first step was fairly easy and I concluded 2 pouch values as well. Just repeat the process in some other direction. I'm going for row 3. What do I have already? I have 4 and a 3, 7, 7 to 9 and 9 and 5, 14. So I have a 14 in the story. And what are the missing possibilities? I could have anything from 1 to 2. Or I could have anything from 2, 3, 4 up to 5. I'm at 14. What are the multiples of 9? Why am I looking for multiples of 9? Because there are 9 pouches. The sum of coins will be divided by 9. That's an integer. That means the sum has to be a multiple of 9. And the next multiple, the closest multiple that I have is 18. Then I have 27. If I wanted to go from 14 to 27, I will need 13 extra. Maximum extra I can have is 7. So this 27 is definitely ruled out. That means I'm looking at 18. 14 plus 1 will give me 15 and 15 plus 3 can give me 18. So this could be one of the stories. Or I could go for this story, 14 plus 2, 16 and plus 2, 18. So if I go for row 3, I'm getting 2 possible answers. So in this case, I'm getting 2 possible stories. The third pouch could be 1 and the third pouch could be 3, or vice versa, the third pouch could be 2 and the third pouch for the other story would be 2 as well. So this is not giving me a definitive answer, but I should not be discouraged at all because in my very first attempt, I did get fixed values. So I'm getting a couple of answers, but if I play in any other direction, maybe my dilemma will be resolved. So keep this value somewhere. It could be 1, 3 or it could be 2, 2. We are talking about this lot and this lot. Run the process again in another direction. What do I have already? I have 3 and 3, 6, 6 and 6, 12, 12 and 8, 20. I am at 20 already. All the pouches are accounted for here. From this, I could have 1 or a 2. And from this story, I could have a 6 or a 7 or a 8. I am at 20 already. My multiples could be 27 or 36. Can I go to 36? 8 or 8 and 2 maximize is 10. So 36 is definitely out. I'm only left with 27. The only way to hit 27 in this story is 1 and 6. That means this one is 1. And I just figured out that if this one is 1, this one is going to be 3. And if this one is 1, this particular slot is going to be 6 for the third pouch. So the third pouch also has 6 coins in the story. And now maybe I'm going for row 1. And also at this point of time, please note that you don't have to follow my given order. This logic would have worked in any direction. You could have started from anywhere and come to the point. Maybe the first value itself would have been 2 possible answers, but do not get deterred. Take the next step and you will come to your answer in no time, right? So I'm randomly choosing. This looked like everything was filled out already. So figuring this out would be fairly easy. So the total is 10 and 12, which is 22, 30, and I have 34. So the total for row 1 is 34, and in the last lot I could have 1 or a 2 or a 3. I am at 34. The next multiple of 9 is 36. That means this has to be 2. That means this has to be 2. So almost everything I have figured out. This one is pending. So go either for the column or for the row. Anything will work out. I am going for the row. 5, 5, 10 and 3, 13. 13 and 3, 16. 16, 6, 22. and 20, 42. So I have 42 already, and I am looking at multiples of 9. So I could have 45, or I could have a 54, or I could have a 63. Only the third pouch from this story is missing, and that could be anything from 6 to 20, right? So you are already at 42. 42 plus 20 is 62. You cannot make it to 63. You are at 42. To get to 45, you need 3, but the story starts at 6. So this is already ruled out. Now from 42, if you want to go to 54, that means the number required is going to be 12. So the third pouch in the story has 12 coins. And that's it. I figured out everything, and I hope it was a fun, easy story. And let the lesson be that do not judge the question by the surface level appearance of the story, because the moment you look at it, you will find that the story is very, very easy. This is not the first time this has happened, and hopefully not the last time we'll observe this. But be aware of this phenomena. This is what CAT does. It will make it so that very easy things will appear very, very complicated, and everybody will be like, oh my god, what to do about Ella. But the story was quite straightforward. Now jumping into the questions. What is the amount? First question was, what is the total amount of money in rupees in the 3 pouches kept in the first column of second row? First column of second row, 5 and 5 and 3, the answer will be 13. Question number 2. How many pouches contain exactly 1 coin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Can I find any other? No. So my answer should be 8. The next question, what is the number of slots for which the average amount of his 3 pouches is an integer? That means now we are thinking of multiples of 3. Quickly count. 8 and 2, 10. Not going to work. 10 and 3, 13. Not going to work. 4 not going to work. 12 and 8, 20. Not going to work. This will work. 4 will not work. 5 and 2, 7 and 3, 10 will not work. 26 plus 12, 38. Not a multiple of 3. Not going to work. 3, 2, 5 and 1, 6 going to work. So I have 2 slots in the grid where the average for the slot is an integer. Last question, the number of slots for which the total amount in its 3 pouches strictly exceeds rupees 10. I am leaving this question up to you. I'm sure you can work it out. It's just a counting question. So this is it for this session. I hope you realize this is the key lesson. Let's say the main idea in the previous lesson was read well. Here the lesson is do not get scared of the appearance of the data. Make a quick read through, try and understand the story. For all you know, it might be very, very easy. And of course, it's easy if you start the process. If you just look at it from a distance, everything is difficult. So this is it for the day. I will see you soon.